Hello everybody and welcome to lesson 6. Today we have the beautiful and bright Anne-Marie Pereira. Is that how I say your surname? I haven't said it wrong.
Yeah. Hi everyone.
Hi, and Anne-Marie is joining us to share an amazing session all about how you can connect with your sense of purpose. And Anne-Marie works as a therapist who does a absolutely amazing methodology called Rapid Transformational Therapy. And so what we thought we would do today is share a little bit of information about, what is Rapid Transformational Therapy? Why is it really useful in terms of your career, in terms of your life ambitions? And so we thought we'd just start very briefly with a little bit of an introduction to it. And then we will briefly go through the worksheet. So today you will 100% need the worksheet. You should be able to find it in the group. On the right hand side there's a list of tags, and under tags there's a tag called worksheets, and you can find it there. Or if you go to the top of the announcements, you should also be able to find it in there as well. So here we are. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Danny. I think that's how I say your name, Danny.
Hi.
So, Anne-Marie, let's start with the question that was on my mind when you first told me that you were doing Rapid Transformational Therapy, because obviously we met through me teaching yoga.
Yes.
And I really didn't have a clue what it was about. I knew it was something interesting, but until I did it for myself, I didn't quite understand. So you give us your introduction to what's it all about and why is it important?
Yeah. So basically, RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy, is a hybrid therapy which combines several different therapies that you will have, the usual ones that I talked about. So which is, you have hypnotherapy, you have CBT, you have NLP, you have psychotherapy, so talking therapy as it's usually called. And basically RTT is a combination of the best techniques in each of these therapies. So it's that's why we call it hybrid, because it went to get all of the good bits of those therapies that are usually known. And Marisa Peer did an excellent job at creating this technique that is really powerful in that sense.
So Marisa Peer is your mentor, right? And you trained with her directly. Yeah. What was that like?
Incredible. So it's impressive to see her work. So she's really an inspiration of how she works and how she teaches. So she's a really, really great person to have created that, and somehow she didn't want to keep it for herself. She really wanted to teach as many persons as possible to change the world somehow through RTT. So that's a great thing.
So I've actually gone through a process of doing a full Rapid Transformational Therapy session in preparation for being able to explain to you what's it like and what actually happens. And I have actually tried many of the techniques that Anne-Marie just talked about. So cognitive behavioral therapy and neuro-linguistic therapy, and traditional talking therapies as well. Because when we start to develop our life in directions that perhaps our families, our parents, our peers, the people we grew up with haven't entered into, it's very common to experience basically all of your hang-ups, all of your issues, any little lessons in life that you never received from your family can show up and become massive blockers to achieving your dreams. I'm glad you're nodding there, Anne-Marie, because I'm really only talking from experience and you are the expert in all these things. And, what I found with those therapies was that sometimes you had to find the right person who'd had a similar experience in order for them to be able to help you. Just because they had the qualification didn't mean it was a great match for me.
Yeah.
Also, and this is something Anne-Marie and I talked about in the week, also one of the things that happens in therapy is there's something called the curve. What was that called, Anne-Marie?
It's the hub. So it's called the hub in sense of this doctor found out that, you know, when you go through talk therapy, so that's a rule that he studied, that basically it's a curve that goes up and then again comes down, which is the first sense that you feel when you go through a talking therapy experience is that, okay, first of all, I have something inside of me that I have to get out. So talking about it is really necessary in a way that I feel like, okay, something, some weight I'm feeling inside is going out and I feel better. But the thing is, with talking therapy, we are going back to the same theme over and over again through a long period of time. So at first, when you go to your therapist and he asks you, how do you feel that this weight is going out because you're talking about the pain that you have inside. But if from 6 months from now, a year from now, I'm still asking you the same questions and you still telling me the same story, and I'm still asking you how you feel about it over and over again, we don't really go out of this, you know, talking again about the pain and again about the pain. So the curve that initially was, you know, myself feeling better because I am talking about what's inside, then if I don't change it, then I start feeling like, okay, it's been 6 months now, it's been a year now, and I'm still exactly in the same location. So actually talking about the same thing over and over again reinforce it in the brain, in the mind, and in the end it's worse than maybe I was in the first place, because even if I talked about it, I am still in the same space a year after. And some clients come to me after 9 months, a year of different style of therapies because they feel that, okay, I've dealt with some stuff, you know, but it feels like I'm only at the beginning of really peeling the onion. So that's when RTT is really, really powerful.
Yeah, and you might be wondering, you know, why are we talking about therapy? You know, we've just talked about trauma last week because nearly everybody has experienced trauma at some point in their life, right? And you might be thinking, well, this is about careers and business and coaching, so why are we talking about therapy? But the thing is, like, I can certainly say in my experience, everything Anne-Marie has just said there is true about therapy. And one of the things we talked about earlier this week is how therapy can be a great complement to coaching. And that's because coaching is really great for giving you practical solutions to achieve practical changes. And many times coaches are, they've picked up tools and techniques and been taught certain things that will help their clients to process their emotions a little bit better.
Yeah.
And to potentially reframe some of their thinking, okay? But when we've experienced forms of trauma, some of those things can be shifted just by having more awareness of it and being a little bit more conscious about what we do in situations when we get triggered. But then there's certain issues which in some circles might be called the core wound, which is where we get bugged or plagued by this one thing and it feels like an invisible barrier and it plagues every area of our life. And it shows up in our work life, in our home life, in our relationships, in our dreams, in the way that we behave, I don't know, in every situation.
Yes.
And what I found in my experience with doing rapid transformational therapy with Anne-Marie is that there is a problem that I was struggling with, which was a huge sense of guilt, and it connected with a sense of not being worthy enough that I just wanted to come to peace with. And now I did many forms of therapy with some of the top people in the country, not just not someone that I was just came across, but I really sort of suck out the best of the best to help me. And in one session of rapid transformational therapy, I would say I went from an anxiety level on this issue, or the sense of guilt being, say, like 100%, it went down to 10 to 15%, and it stayed there. And it's been has it been 5 or 6 weeks now, Anne-Marie, since I did?
Yeah, maybe we're heading to the 6 weeks. Yeah.
And as I've come out of that, it's stuck. I haven't ended up with my brain kind of finding that it's bugging me again, which is what has happened in therapy. So very briefly, because we've only got a couple of minutes left before we need to start the session fully, Anne-Marie, tell us a little bit more from your side about that, how therapy complements coaching in your view.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you said with regards to coaching. I think it's really like a day-to-day, week-on-week. The person needs to carry out some actions to really, step forward, understand what she wants from her life. And you see it from different sides. You started with the purpose question initially. What are your values? What do you want in life? What's important from you? And from there, they want to head somewhere. And you are really following them, giving them practical actions they have to take. But then imagine, let's take an example. You could be working with somebody that wants to become an entrepreneur, wants to create their own company or whatever. And this person heads to somewhere they don't manage to go from there. They can't grow their business or whatever. And despite the fact we're working with them on practical actions with regards to the business, with regards to themselves, they might have somewhere a belief that they don't deserve to earn more money, for example. So they would go until some point, but then they wouldn't manage to go from this point forward. Okay, so what we do with RTT is basically we go to the root cause and we understand what was created there with regards to the money. So maybe they've seen the person has seen their parents struggling with money all their life. Maybe they have seen them working so hard, and the person thinks, okay, I'm going to create my firm with something that I love. So I need to pay a price. And the price is I won't earn much money. So what we do is we start from a symptom, which is, I'm overweight, or I don't earn what I would like to earn, or I don't feel I have a sense of purpose. And what we do is we go to the root cause. So we really understand what lies beneath. And this is what we work on. We never work on a symptom. This is just what we see on the top.
Yeah, it absolutely gets to the root cause of whatever is creating that blockage in where you want to go, I would say.
Yeah.
And so
from there you start your coaching program again, because the person is unblocked. So you can just, go a lot higher with your objectives.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And so let's talk a little bit about specifically then. So some people watching may never have tried any types of therapy. It might be something that feels a little bit alien, or something that is viewed as only being for people who have mental illnesses, which is absolutely not the case. It's the best way to think of therapy is more like gaining tools or experiences that help you to live your best life. That's what it is at its simplest level. And whilst it can be very helpful for people who are mentally ill or struggling in any way or going through some traumas, for people that are looking to expand themselves, to move to the next level in their life, whatever your goal is, whether that is something simple or something financial, whatever is meaningful to you, therapy offers essentially a tried and tested set of methodologies to help you get there quicker. And it's faster than, as you need a coach to tell you the practical, how do you do a career change? How do you grow a market, a business? How do you find your first 10 clients? How do you go from a medium business to a large business? What are the different things you have to think about? Coaches can help you with all that wonderful stuff. But what a therapist does is if you ever feel in any way like you're walking through treacle in life, like something is a struggle, like you have to put so much energy in to take a step forward, therapy lifts that struggle, and it really just enables you to freely walk forward in the direction of your choice. And I stress of your choice, because sometimes it helps you to know what your choice is without feeling that weight and that icky stickiness of like, just this is monumental effort. Okay.
Exactly. I think it's freedom basically that it gives you.
Absolutely. So then what specifically happens in a session is, if you do a one-to-one session, is there is some hypnotherapy, and Anne-Marie will show you how to do that in today's session. Today's session is slightly different because it's a group session. And am I allowed to say what happens in terms of going back over thoughts?
Yeah. We go back to the root. Yeah, you can say that.
Go on, you explain.
No, that's great. That's exactly that. And you're going to, experience it yourself today. So it's slightly different in the sense that I can't hear you. So I'm going to, pop up questions and say things so that images and emotions just pop up in your head. Basically, that's what it's going to be today. But I can't hear you, obviously. But it's pretty much similar. So basically what we do is we go to the root cause. So in this case, we are working on your sense of purpose. So our sense of purpose is usually found in the ages between 7 and 14. So this is exactly what we are going to revisit to understand, okay, what did you like when you were from 7 to 14? And the objective of the session today will be to understand exactly what you liked, what you were good at that ages, okay? So we're going to go back basically to revisit some scenes that you went through and to be able to pick up really what you liked at that ages, okay? So, no expectations, and I'm pretty sure you will love this experience.
So just before we get started, I know you're going to, as we do it, Anne-Marie will talk you through, she'll ask you to close your eyes, and then she'll put a slide up on the screen, which is just there in case you happen to open your eyes. But the aim is to keep your eyes closed and stay very centered inside yourself as you go. But before we do that, I just want to mention, have you managed to take a look at today's worksheet? Give me a comment if you're watching live and let us know, have you set your intention for this session? Because in a normal rapid transformational therapy session, what would happen is you would typically go with an intention. So Anne-Marie would ask you questions about, okay, so what's the problem that's showing up for you? And what's the goal that you want to achieve? If there's one thing that we could solve as a result of this session, what would it be? And so we haven't been able to do that because it's a group session. So we've set that for you, being we're going to connect with your sense of purpose. But it's really good to personalize it. So we gave some questions, and Marie put them in the worksheet to get you to think about what your intention might be for this. So I'm going to share mine. Feel free to share yours in the comments. So my intention for this, because I'm going to do it live and be just like you guys all doing it, is for me to get more specific about my niche and what I'm doing in terms of my career development and career coaching business. And, for me, I have lots of ideas, but I find them quite hard to choose from. So that's my intention, to get a bit more clarity around that and have that sense of like, yes, I know what my next step is. We've got Lindsay. She says, I've got lots of improvement areas on the self-assessment quiz. Yeah, I had lots too. And I was a bit like, oh my God, I've got loads of low numbers. What's going on? But then I reflected on mine and I was like, I'm at a big transition phase where I'm at the start of a journey, and some of my things around contribution are lower than they've ever been because I don't have the years of experience built up in what I'm doing that I had before in the construction industry, let's say. We also, it was one of the questions I thought might come up And Anne-Marie shared that it might be connected to confidence in some way. So do you just want to quickly share about that?
Yeah, of course. I think this questionnaire is really good because it's a way of, drawing a line and understanding exactly, like if you look at your life from different perspectives, then you understand if there are areas that you never thought of. So it's also a way of, oh, there's this, like the creative part. I've never thought I could work on that part. So I think it was a great way for you to draw the line in and understand a bit where you are at the moment. But imagine that you come to me and want to work on confidence, and we work on confidence, then confidence will, you will see transform various categories that are there of the 12. It will transform your relationship, for sure. It will transform the way you are at work and with regards to your career, because maybe you would start to ask the raise you never asked for before because you have more self-confidence, you're more sure of what you can ask for. It could touch various categories of your life. So this is just, an overview of how you are at the moment. And what we want with Holly is also, a week from now to ask you to revisit the 12 categories and see how do you feel now about them after the session and after listening to the audio we were going to give you for a few days. So I think it's a great way of doing some follow-up during the experience.
Okay, so just to touch on that point as well, today's session goes further than just today because you're going to receive a recording which Anne-Marie will supply as a YouTube link tomorrow, or maybe sooner, but I think tomorrow, which you need to listen to once a day. Okay, I've personally found in the evening is great because I listen before I go to sleep and then I wake up feeling great in the morning. Some people, I did do it in the morning, but for me, I definitely got more benefit in the evening just before I went to sleep listening to that. And it doesn't take very long. And it's a great time when you don't need to be doing other things and you're comfortable and warm anyway. So we're about to start this session. Anne-Marie's going to just share a little bit of a disclaimer because there are some things that you need to know about this process. And you'll also need to make sure that you are now in a quiet space where you're not going to be disturbed for the next 35 minutes. Now, if you are going to be disturbed, I would suggest to you that you jump off the live here and then you come back to it when you can get those 35 minutes of quiet time, because if you're interrupted, we are going to do a hypnosis technique here. So it's really important to stay focused and that you're brought into it and out of it in the correct way. Okay, so over to you, Anne-Marie. I'm going to switch myself on mute and just put you on to speaker view so that you can take over. So it's all yours.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now just for you to see the disclaimer. It's very important for us to see as we are talking about, hypnotherapy. So this rapid transformational therapy experience involves being put into a deeply relaxed state. So if you have epilepsy or a psychotic illness, you should not go into hypnosis. Anyone who enters this part of the session is accepting full responsibility for taking part in the hypnosis and agreeing that I hold no liability for any potential outcome. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back now for you to see me. Because I want us to just do a rehearsal. So I'm gonna look at my face and I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna do. So you are going to imagine that you have, a point just between your eyebrows, and you are going to look up like this, as high as you possibly can. And do it with me right now. Look up as high as you possibly can. And keeping your eyes pulled up, you just breathe in and breathe out. And again, you keep your eyes glued to a real or imagined spot of a head, and you breathe in again, and you breathe out. And just one final time, you breathe in And as you breathe out, you just quickly close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And you can open up your eyes again. And did you feel the fluttering in your eyes? So if you felt it, that's just the best sign you can get. And it means that we are going to have a really great experience together. It's called Rem Rapid Eye Movement. And basically it's the same movement that our eyes do when we are going into hypnosis or dreaming. So it means all is going to go absolutely fine because we are going to use our subconscious mind to see images. So now, just make yourself comfortable. Your hands and feet not quite touching in an open position. And let's start. So I want you to all look up as high as you possibly can and keep your eyes glued to a real or imagined spot overhead. And I want you to breathe in and breathe out. And again, keep your eyeballs up and breathe in again and breathe out. And just one final time, breathe in, keep your eyeballs rolled up. And as you exhale, just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And as your eyelids shut down, the muscles and nerves in and around your eyes are becoming heavy, droopy, drowsy. Your eyelids are starting to feel right now as if they've been glued shut, sealed shut, and locked tight. And you'll soon find the harder you try to open your eyes, the more they feel glued shut, sealed shut, and locked tight. So just forget all about your eyes and allow a drifting, floating feeling to develop in your body. And just picture in your own mind 10 steps descending. And I want you to get that same looking down feeling, the same feeling that you get as you're looking over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. You're looking down 10 steps. You have that looking down sensation. And you're moving on to step 10 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You are taking step 9 and 8, and you can see your feet, hear your feet, and feel your feet treading each step as you move down, drift down, travel down to an even deeper level. You're taking step 7, going deeper into an awareness of yourself. You're taking step 6 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 5, you are halfway down as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you gently, calmly, easily move on over to an even deeper level. You're taking step 4, going deeper into an awareness of yourself. You're taking step 3 and 2. You're taking step 1 as you gently, calmly, easily move on over to an even deeper level. You can just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. And as you go deeper, you're listening easily, effortlessly, perfectly, with your subconscious mind. And while you're listening with your subconscious mind, your conscious mind is drifting away, and you can remember everything. You don't need to make anything happen. Just let it happen. Just let yourself go deeper and deeper and even deeper still. And as you go deeper, I want you to imagine you're going back to the home you lived in between the ages of 7 and 14. And without even thinking about it, even if you moved a lot, your mind is taking you back to somewhere where you lived between the ages of 7 and 14 years old. at the age where you were developing your own particular skills, where you were developing your own particular talents, where you were beginning to develop a skill set that you didn't even know you had. So you're being pulled back, drawn back, taken back, way back to the home you lived in between the ages of 7 and 14. And already you are standing outside the front door, and suddenly you're being drawn into the hallway, drawn to the bedroom that you slept in as a child between the ages of 7 and 14. And now you're right outside the door. You're reaching out with your hand. You can feel that door handle in your hand. You're opening the door, going into that room, about to meet yourself as a young child, and sitting on the bed as you walk in the room is you. You between the ages of 7 and 14. And you immediately know that this is you. You know that this is you as a young child, and this young child knows that you are the adult version of them. And that means that you and this young child have a complete, total, complete affinity with each other. You understand each other, you know each other, you remember each other. So I want you to sit on the bed with that child who is between the ages of 7 and 14. And I want you to ask them some questions about what they love to do. And here is the first question you are asking them. What do you love to do? What makes you happy? What makes you feel good about yourself? And because you are talking to a younger version of you, and because that child knows that you are them as a child and you are them as an adult, they are completely and eagerly, they will tell you anything you want to know. They will answer any question because they know that you are them and they are you, and you share a complete affinity, a total trust, an absolute understanding of each other. So again, you are asking them, what do you love to do? What makes you happy? What makes you feel good about yourself? And now I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. And you are going to go right back to a scene, place, event, and time that absolutely is all to do with your area of excellence, your skill set, your gift, the things that you were meant to do, the reason why you're here, the purpose in life right now. On the count of 5, you are drifting back, being pulled back. You are taken back to a scene, an absolutely vivid, clear scene that is all to do with your unique skill set, your area of excellence, and what you are meant to do. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body. You are drifting right back, right now, to a vivid, vital, absolutely significant scene that is all to do with what you are meant to do. All to do with your unique skills and the purpose you're here, on the reason you're here. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter, just be there. And as I click my fingers, a scene is springing to mind, clearly, vividly, easily, and you find yourself answering each question effortlessly. The scene in your mind now is where you are right now. Is it daytime or is it nighttime? And you'll find that you just know. Are you inside or are you outside? Are you on your own or is there anybody with you? And here's the only question that really matters. What are you doing, seeing, feeling? What are you experiencing? I want you to be aware in this scene of what you are experiencing and feeling. I want you to stay in that scene, look at that scene, remember. This scene you've gone back to is a clue to your areas of excellence. It's a clue to what you are supposed to be doing with your life. It's a clue to finding your life purpose. Everyone has a life purpose. Everyone has something they are meant to be doing. The universe doesn't put everyone here the same. Because if we were all the same, we would all do the same job. We are all given a gift, a skill, a unique gift, a unique talent, a unique skill, and you are looking right now at yours. You're beginning to get phenomenal insight into your unique skill set, into what you are meant to do with your life. So I want you to look at that scene just for a few more moments. And then we're going to go to another scene. So put that scene to one side. I want you to think of it like a DVD or like a photograph. You're going to put it on one side, but come back to it in a little while. So put it on one side. And now, on the count of 5, you're going back to another vivid, vital, crucial, absolutely significant scene that is again all to do with your areas of excellence. Again, you are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks are peeling away from your body. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. You're drifting back, traveling back, being pulled back, moved back to a scene, place, heaven, and time that is all to do with your unique skill set, your areas of excellence, your purpose in life, and the reason you are here on the planet. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just be there. And as I click my fingers, this scene is in your mind. Is it daytime or is it nighttime? Are you inside or are you outside? Are you on your own or is anybody with you? And as you stay in that scene, here comes the only question that really matters. What are you doing, seeing, feeling, and more than anything, what are you experiencing? And this time, as you stay on this scene, as I click my fingers, you can actually hear something being said to you, over you, around you, about you. It may be a teacher, it may be a parent, it may be a relative, it may be an older brother or sister or another child, but they are saying something, and something they're saying is all linked again to your areas of excellence. On the count of 1, 2, 3, your ears are wide open and you can hear something being said over you, around you, about you, maybe even directly to you. And as you hear it, like it was just said yesterday, as you hear it again, you get even more insight into why you are on the planet. What is the unique skill that the universe gave to you? And what does the universe want you to do with that unique skill set? So look over and around and through that scene. Just look at it. Take a while. Just look exactly at what that is all about and keep that in mind. Remember. And now we're going back to one more scene. So rather like holding another DVD, rather like holding a snapshot or a CD in your hand, you are going back to one more scene that is again all to do with your area of excellence. So again, on the count of 5, you're drifting back to a vivid, vital, crucial scene, a scene that is all to do with your purpose in life. And your purpose in life is to find what you are good at. Your purpose in life is to find out what you are gifted at and then to develop that gift. Your purpose in life is to find out what you are skilled and gifted at and develop that skill, develop your unique talents and gifts. So on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, you're going back to a vivid, vital, crucial, absolutely significant scene that is all to do with these skills that you're supposed to find and develop, these gifts that you are supposed to find and own and finely tune. Again, you're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. You're drifting back, way back, further and further back to a scene that is the cause, the reason, the root of you being on the planet. You are drifting back to a vivid, vital scene that is all to do with your unique gift, your unique skills, the special talents you were gifted with, blessed with, and own and are ready to develop. You're becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. Just be there. And as I click my fingers, again, a scene is springing to your mind. This scene in your mind now, is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? Are you on your own or is anybody with you? And more than anything, what are you doing, seeing, feeling, and more than anything, what are you experiencing? I want you to look over and around and through that scene and to understand what is it that you are doing, seeing, feeling, and experiencing. I want you to know what is going on. And again, as I click my fingers and I count to 3, you can hear something being said to you, over you, around you, about you. Something being said that is all to do with your gifts, your talents. It may be a teacher, a parent, a relative, a neighbor, a sibling, a friend. On the count of 1, 2, 3, your ears are wide open and you can hear something being said about you, about your skill, your talent, your gift, about who you are. So I want you to listen to that, to take it all in, to just begin to understand exactly what that is all about. Now, I want you to just take a few minutes, really tuning into what you loved to do between the ages of 7 and 14. Remembering what I told you many times, that what you love to do is a key to what you are meant to do. So just take a couple more minutes, just a few more minutes, understanding that your purpose in life is to find out what is it that you are gifted at and to develop your gift. The natural leader understands that we all are gifted and have talents and gifts, and natural leaders just help other people to find out what they are good at and then help them to become even better. And that's what great therapists do too. They help people to find out what they are, why they are here, what their purpose is, and then they help them to develop it. Because what we are meant to do lies directly behind. It is connected to what we love to do, and particularly what we love to do between the ages of 7 and 14. It's actually the key indicator to what your talents are. You can only be happy doing what you love to do. And your purpose in life is to find out what you love to do and to become outstanding at it. And the meaning of your life is found when you find out what you love to do and then share it with other people. So I want you to look at those 3 sins. And I want you to look at those 3 sins. I want you to become a brilliant detective. I want you to take your detective-like mind and look at those 3 sins and begin to understand, daisy chain each sin as you begin to understand what you are meant to do. Even as part of a team, we still do so much better when we focus on what we are good at and naturally gifted at, rather trying to be good at everything. That never works. So look at these scenes. Look at your gift. Look at your skills, your talent, your areas of excellence. Put it all together. It might be, I realized that I'm meant to be a detective. I was always doing puzzles. Or I realized that I was meant to help children. That's what I wanted to do. I realized that I was always playing nurse with my dolls in my bedroom. And of course, I see now why I should be a caregiver. So I want you to just stay where you are for a few minutes. Just look at those scenes. You're looking at these scenes and you understand the meaning. And now, as you go deeper into hypnosis, as you go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper, you are aware of a powerful transformation taking place in you because you are aware there is something on the planet that can be done, will be done, and should be done better by you than by anyone else. As you go deeper into an absolutely relaxed state, you are so aware of your areas of excellence. You are so aware there is a career in front of you that can be done, will be done better by you than by anyone else, because you have a unique gift. You have a unique skill. You have a unique talent. You absolutely have the edge. You are brilliant at what you do because you are meant to do it. The universe gave you your talent, and the universe that gave you that talent will support you 1,000%. If you're given a talent, you are also given the ability to take that talent and to make something of it. So the universe that gave you that talent will support you 1,000%, 1,000,000% in taking that talent, using it, making something of it. And every day you are aware of a phenomenal transformation taking place in you every single day. you become aware that you do indeed have a gift, a talent, that you were put on this planet with that talent, and you are meant to use that talent. And as you use it, like any muscle, the more you use it, the better it is. If you do anything enough, it stops being what you do and it becomes who you are. It's like using a recipe or using an instrument or even learning to use some machinery. Eventually, you do it on autopilot so that your mind understands it. You know your gift and you know that you were meant to do it, destined to do something extraordinary with that gift. You take your gift, you develop it, you own it, you work on it, and you get better and better. And like all natural leaders, you tell people how good you are at your job. You tell them how good you are. You feel good about your skills. You feel good about sharing them. And your purpose is found in sharing your skills with other people. Your meaning is found in developing those skills and becoming the very best you can. So knowing it, feeling it, believing it, seeing yourself doing an amazing job, a phenomenal job, an awesome job, and being incredibly well paid for that job too. And understanding that you take that pay as a physical proof that you are good at your job, outstanding at your choice of career. You are head and shoulders above other people because you understand exactly what is required of you. You understand what is required of you, and you surpass your own expectations and those of everyone else too. You do a phenomenal job, an amazing job, an outstanding job. You do an exquisite job because that is your gift. It's your talent. You were given that gift, and the universe never gives you a gift without also giving you the ability to develop that gift and to make it something greater than it's ever been. So feeling amazing, feeling wonderful, feeling excited about believing in your gift, your unique skill set, your talent, developing it, nurturing it until it isn't what you do. It is so much a part of who you are. Feeling wonderful, feeling extraordinary, feeling amazing, feeling phenomenal. Just slowly, calmly, easily open up your eyes and fill up your lungs and just take a long, deep breath in. And welcome back. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to take you all through this experience. I love to hear you now. I saw lots of smiles. Holly, what was that?
I really got different things than what would normally come to mind. So I did gymnastics and music and dance and all this sort of stuff when I was a child. But the three memories that came to mind were one of me drawing clothes. I used to draw a lot. One of me building a den in the back garden with my sister and her friend. And one of me, I used to sit in the attic with an old typewriter and I would type stories and use Tipp-Ex to fix them and retype them for hours. And they seemed like three really disconnected things at first. And the words I heard in the first one were something about drawing clothes. I was imagining making people feel good about themselves. I was imagining people being invited to nice parties, to nice places, and getting to wear these fabulous outfits, basically, that made them feel really good about themselves. So I think that was a little key.
Yeah.
In the second one, with building the den, at first I was thinking, no wonder I went into engineering. But I think the seed of that one was actually much more to do with creating a safe space for fun and nurturing and escape from the adult grown-up world of chores and difficult things and traumatic things. It was like a safe space to play and have fun, but there was also a very deep sense of achievement in it, because really I created this den that was like really advanced for a child to have made. I'd like done quite a bit of research and stuff. And then the third one was the typing, and that one I couldn't get a clear sense on of it, except I was imagining someone reading the story and feeling happy, like, because they've gone to a different place, they've learned something, they've grown, because I think stories are so fabulous for putting us in someone else's shoes, basically, so you can get to be whoever you want to be in a story. So that was, I think that it's only just coming now, is the key to it. It's like something around this with all three of them. It was this sense of whatever you imagine you can be, and helping people with that.
And the fact is, that's pretty much what you do today, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's why it's really important, like, for you all to, take 5 minutes and write down, the most important thing of the scenes you went back to, like the age, where you were, and most of all, the emotions you were feeling at that moment. Because as Holly says, at first, you can't find, it doesn't have any connection together. But then thinking it through and doing the next exercise, it will help you to, see the whole picture and understand how things connect. So you can just take a few minutes to do that.
Yeah, I'd say definitely write down whatever your 3 scenes were. And I think for me, the thing that brought out the connection was really, how did you feel? What were you thinking about? What were you imagining? What were you feeling? What were you envisaging as the child in that scene? There was a temptation for my head to be logical and to be like, oh, well, it must be this or it must be that. But actually the answers weren't the logical things. They were the almost look for the deeper root underneath if you're feeling like things don't connect. Because I've done quite a few exercises in the past similar to this, what we've just done today. And there was a time in my life when I would do them and be like, oh, this is rubbish. Like, I just can't understand how these things connect. I can't see the links. I'm not getting the answers. And I would get so frustrated. But it was because I was so in my logical head and not in my intuitive heart feeling part, emotional part of, or spiritual part of myself even.
That's why it's so important to go back to, the ages between 7 and 14, because at that time you just did what you like, basically, without thinking, if I'm going to be judged or if I can actually become an engineer or actually become a coach or whatever. You just, play with what you have in front of you and what you like without second guessing everything. But then life gets in the way, and, our parents want us to go to one side, or, society also shows us the way, and we just, leave all of it behind, leave all of this that we like to do when we were a child. So that's a great way to get there.
So we have a little feedback in the group. It says, cool. Lindsay says, I got loads of focus and kept coming back to Greek dancing, Italian lessons, the teacher speaking to me in Italian and saying my accent was good, and walking across fields going shopping for my parents restaurant with a friend. So really interesting set of past experiences that you went through there, Lindsay. So Anne-Marie, what questions would you give her to help her tap into the essence of those?
I think we have to tap in the emotion, really, because imagine that you go back to being a doctor and, you know, well, you think, wow, like I'm 35, I'm 40, whatever, I'm not going to be a doctor now. So you have to really think of, okay, but what do I like in this? Like, I was a child, I was playing the doctor, but what did I really like? And it was like, okay, I like to look after people, be nice to people and whatever. So, you know, there's a million ways we can take care of people. You don't have to be a nurse, a doctor to take care of people. There's a million things you can do. So you can, you know, decide to change careers as Holly and I did, but you can also start to do something on the side of your day-to-day job, like, you know, help people around you or help some charities as well, and start to do what you like, which would be, in that case, helping people. So it's really important to tap into the emotion. And if like you come up with a nurse, a doctor, or what, or detective or whatever, really try to understand, okay, what did I like? What is it that this, you know, this type of work is in reality, and just make a sentence out of it.
So, for example, with the Greek dancing, you might think about, how did you feel? What did you have a sense of? It might be a sense of achievement. It might be a sense of expression. It might be a sense of freedom. What is that sense that, and I would use that very specifically, the word sense, that you had as you recall that very specific memory? Why was it that you loved it? What was the essence of it that made you feel great? And you don't have to get all three memories having the exact same message or essence behind it. The set of them may combine to help you further develop your purpose. And what I would also say is, purpose is something that develops over time. You're not going to get this perfect on day one today. What you'll get is a set of seeds that further down the line will begin to connect more and more, because what the brain does is it starts to seek connections once you've got those seeds in place.
Yeah, and the audio will really help you with that. So the audio will be pretty, you know, short in comparison to what we did now, but it will help you with this, with the connection. Like, go back to the scenes, remember that, and find out, fine tune. So what you can do on the sheet, you can write down, like, like in this scene, you put your age and where you were. I like to, or I liked to, and you start the sentence like that, you know, like, not I was this, no, I liked to do this, do that, feel this, feel that, and try to do it like that. It will help you describe it more and get to the connection. But really cool scenes. I love that.
So somebody else has shared that their experiences were of being in places that were a little bit traumatic. Now, they haven't shared what those experiences were, but what advice would you give around that?
I guess, you know, I was going to say sometimes, but not. Our most important strength can come also for our, you know, deeper traumas somehow. So maybe she has a sense of purpose, somehow dealing with it and transforming it in something that really gives her purpose in life. So definitely do something around the feeling. Okay, in that case, do something around the feeling. Not I liked to, obviously, but something around the feeling. What was I feeling in that scene?
I mean, for me, I went back to a place that was a bit traumatic for me as well, in one of them. And I was a little bit nervous in the the regression to actually fully be there. But then when I let myself do that and looked for the positives, because our initial response to those traumatic experiences can be, oh, I don't want to go there, or how can there be anything good in this? But also, you know, there is this term, the wounded healer, which is your wounds become what you help to heal in the world, in yourself first and foremost, and then potentially later with others. It might not also be the direct experience of trauma that is the connection. It could also be, in my opinion, you tell me if I'm wrong here, Anne-Marie, but it could also be a sense of what you were longing for in those situations. What was the ideal that you would have preferred, that you were, what was that feeling of what you really craved and wanted? What we're trying to tap into as you do these regressions is your deep sense of pleasure, of desire, of your, because that's, you know, when you think of pleasure and desire, it's really, for women, rooted in our pelvic area, in the womb. This is our creative center. So connect with that energy and that sense of pleasure, creation, joy, freedom, choice. Look for what connects with that within the trauma as well. It might not be that, it could be just the, you know, the trauma is what your work is related to as well. But explore it all. When you hit on the right thing, you will just know, you'll have a sense of, oh, there's a little tickle at the back of the brain that goes, oh, let's have a look down that tunnel a little bit further. So just flow with it. The purpose of this first week is to really just get a better sense of your purpose. It's not about trying to create the perfect label or the perfect sentence. It's about finding the essence. Okay, and what that essence can transform into is a vision for how you will then deliver that as your mission in life, as your purpose in life. But that how you do it could be a million different ways. Like Anne-Marie was saying, someone might choose to be a vet, say that's their memory, but actually the essence of it is taking care of children, or taking care of beings. It might not even be animals specifically. It could be animals, but you might do it in a different way than being a vet, for example. We've also got another question of, other people were also reluctant to go back to those ages, but they seem to have honed into positive experiences. And I think that's so important, that if you can find the positive and the pleasure in it, that's the seed. Because, you know, like in the talking that Anne-Marie was doing, it was all about what did you love to do? What was your pleasure? What were you experiencing? Any final thoughts, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, you know, if anyone wants to share with me directly what their experience was, if they want to talk about, you know, something around a traumatic event that they went through or something, I'm happy to, you know, to have a chat or for them to share. So if I can help with that. But here the experience is really what was saying Holly. The truth is, even if our experience was, you know, not so good in childhood, this is really where everything lies. So this is when we didn't have so much weight around what society wanted from us, what our parents wanted from us with regards to our purpose in life. So that's key in that experience. Now, as Holly said as well, she knows it all because we've been chatting quite a lot on that. But the truth is, you don't have to change jobs. You can just find something to do that gives you that sense, okay, I am doing my purpose. And it doesn't mean that you have completely to change careers. It means that you can, you know, start to find some activities, some things that you can spend time and just, you know, fill yourself up, because this is what it does. Following your purpose really fills you up from the inside. And as it's something that you are good at and that you love, the sense of achievement, of fulfillment, self-fulfillment is so important that I really encourage you to look into it and start doing the work. Yeah, but I'm happy to chat and share any insight if I can help anyone in that.
So if anybody would like to have a one-to-one conversation with Anne-Marie, I'm assuming you mean for free there?
Yeah. If I want to share something around, like the person that you said that went back to trauma, I'm happy if she sends me a private message and we can have a chat on that.
Or if you don't want to send a private message on Facebook, you can drop me an email as well, and I can put you two together. It's holly@evolving.careers. Yeah, I would say I'm just reflecting on mine as you were talking through there, and just sharing a few things. Like, when I look at the essence of each of those three individual memories, the first one is about helping people to feel good about themselves, connect with themselves, have enjoyable life experiences was the second one. And I think the third one was reframe life and stories. Now, all three of those are part of being a career coach. In fact, they're probably the three main things that I help people with, ironically. So it's weird how that's come out and what that meaning is. What I would say is I first did a similar visualization to this about back in 2012, I think it must have been. And at the time I got my three experiences. And I would say it took me 3 months to figure out what the essence was that linked them. And the moment I got it, I was like so blown away that I couldn't see it before. That I was like, oh my God, how could I not see that? Because mine was, teaching and coaching and that sort of thing. That was the original seed of essence. And obviously now what I'm describing is a lot more detailed because I'm further along on that path. So yours might just be looking for what's the common thread in those peak experiences. And so don't worry if you don't get it straight away, because I know that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and it's really easy to think, oh God, like I haven't done it properly or that was rubbish. What I would say to you is come back and redo this exercise. Go to those same memories though and revisualize it, because we're going to leave this video up for a little while. And do go to the worksheet and use the prompts in it to think about those experiences. And then on Thursday, we're going to come back, same time, same place, 6 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. in the US Eastern time. And we will go through any questions that you have. So let your mind wander, use the recording that we'll put out tomorrow morning as soon as we can. And by Thursday, you might have got a little bit more clarity and you might just have some more questions around it. So we'd love to hear from you, whether you've watched it live today or whether you are watching the replay. Do join us on Thursday for the next live as we reflect on what happened and answer all your questions. And equally, if you have other questions, whether it's about rapid transformational therapy or whether it's just about general career questions, Anne-Marie and I will both be there to support you through any of those. So don't feel you have to limit your questions to this. You can bring anything to the table. So if you have like a major issue, as embarrassing as it is, like this is your opportunity to get it solved. Bring that stuff to us. There is nothing that is too silly or too awful or too embarrassing to share, because if you are feeling that, there's going to be someone else in the group that's experiencing it. And one of the things that I can share that me and all of the coaches and teachers on this 8-week video series have said as we've gone through all the sessions is we've all had those experiences. There's always one of us teachers who's been there. And we've talked about how much we all have in common in terms of those struggles and those feelings of worthlessness and not being good enough, not feeling ready, feeling out of our depth, having your mum's voice in the back of your head telling you can't do that, you're too impatient. That's my one.
We are all work in progress. There's no perfection.
Exactly. Thanks, Anne-Marie. So yeah, that's today's session done. I'm just going to check if we got any final points that are meant to mention. Oh, the last thing, the only thing we haven't talked about, and I know we've ran over, so we'll be very quick with it, was just one of the things that Anne-Marie and I spoke about was the power of doing development work with your partner as a couple. It doesn't mean necessarily doing a session together or like doing these videos together, but it does mean both doing work to develop yourselves, yes, either with the same coach, with the same therapist, or with separate things, but coming together and sharing those and discussing it. It can be super powerful. And you've been doing that with a few people recently, haven't you, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, my aim was to work mainly with women, but somehow, well, in the couples, if I was working with the woman, then the partner would want a session, for example. So what I've seen is that, okay, I'm helping women, but if I also help the partner, I'm helping the woman twice. So basically, it's a way of giving very strong breakthrough, because you not only help one person, they go hand in hand in a transformation process, and it's very powerful. So now at the moment, well, I work mainly with women, but I can work with any men as well in that sense, because I truly feel that if we have the right person on our side, which means that if we are into personal development, and our partner also wants to work on themselves, then we get out of this so much stronger as a person, as an individual, and also as a couple. So it's quite powerful to see this happening.
Yeah, I'm in a couple that has done some stuff together, various therapies, as you know, and it definitely builds a sense of intimacy, because you don't just look at the other person's flaws in a negative light. You get to understand it a little bit more and be a bit more compassionate, and both towards them, but also the more you're compassionate towards other people, the more self-compassionate you become. Yeah. So there's a massive benefit of doing it, not even necessarily a couple like love relationship, physical relationship. It could be, somebody that you're very close to, a sister, a best friend, someone in your family. It can be really, really useful where there's issues that connect with them, or where they could support you. It can be really powerful. We don't know why that came out, but it felt important to share, whoever that's for.
Because we think it's a great way of helping women as well, so that's why.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we will do on Thursday is we'll also have a recap of some of the things that are in the worksheet. So make sure you filled everything out, redo this session if you need to, having filled that out, and do share with us what was your intention. And on Thursday, we would love to know, did you get your intention met through this process? And of course, I don't want you to tell us that until Thursday, because I want you to have done the recording that you listen to. It's like a short meditation that you listen to. I want you to do that first before you come back with your results in the group. So we look forward to hearing from you there and then.
We do.
And until then, take care, guys, and have a great rest of the day or the evening, depending on where you are. Bye.
Bye.